Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk Aging. I'm Gwyneth Johnson with Second Wind Dreams. We are an organization dedicated to changing the perception of aging. And through this interview series, we will focus on individuals who are dedicated to that same mission. Today, we are lucky enough to have with us our founder and CEO Emeritus, author of the Virtual Dementia Tour, PK Beville. Welcome, PK.
Thanks, Gwyneth. Thank you for inviting me. It's an honor to be here.
Well, it's an honor to have you. And as you well know, this is our 25th anniversary year, and it would not be an anniversary celebration if we didn't start the year off with interviewing you.
Well, thank you.
It's important, I think, that as we celebrate this very important year, that our viewers, our partners, the people we serve understand how we came to be. You called the phrase empathic person-centered care. Can you describe that to me and what it changes in the experience of being cared for?
Well, thank you for asking that question. I think this is a very important topic to cover because the older I get, the more pet peeves I have. And I've now got a new one over the last couple of years. And that is when people throw around the word empathy. And they're using it in concert with saying things like, I have great empathy for this person. I am an empathic person. When in fact, empathy is a very complex emotion to have. And that's what it is. It's just an emotion to have. And honestly, most people don't have it. And it is something that is learned. So it's not something that you're born with. It's something that over your lifetime, you begin to develop thoughts about other human beings, animals, anything like that, where you feel as though you can identify with that person. But it's deeper than that. I think we can all identify with older adults or people who are living in nursing homes by seeing their environment and being around them. But honestly, do we know where they live? And by where they live, I mean what they're dealing with every day. So if we can't step into their world consciously and view where the world from their perspective, it's not empathy. Mm-hmm. So I get concerned that people are going to think they have it and never take the time to learn what it really is and how deep it is. I can't think of a greater population to learn this skill than our older adults, because we can identify and possibly empathize with maybe raising children, having teenagers, God forbid, maybe going through a divorce, maybe changing jobs frequently and being uncomfortable. I think we can all have empathy for those people because we've been there. Mm-hmm. But there's not a person here on this podcast that has been living in an elder care community or being homebound or experiencing dementia. So you see, that raises this to a whole different level where we really do have to be conscious of how we develop empathy. Now, in my mind, there are several different types of empathy. And interestingly enough, this is a subject that has not been researched, but in the last 10 to 15 years. Isn't that interesting? So we're learning more about that. So my final thought about empathic person-centered care is, if we learn to identify with those that we're caring for by walking in their shoes, and of course, in my mind, experiencing the Virtual Dementia Tour on a regular basis so that we can develop that deeper understanding of where those people are that we're caring for. If we don't know how to take action, from the empathy that we've gained, I think we've missed the whole kit and caboodle. Now, that has not been researched yet. One interesting research point, though, Gwyneth, that I wanted to bring up is that the most, quote, empathic people that are researched and have filled out empathic scales and have been observed in different settings, the most empathic people are people who experienced trauma in their childhood. Isn't that interesting? The subconscious has taken that trauma and turned those people into consciously observing the behavior of others as a result of that trauma. Now, of course, I'm not suggesting that we go out and create trauma for our children and grandchildren, but I am saying that that is an important piece that we need to keep in mind.
So it really is more than understanding dementia. It's understanding the entire person and trying to envision their entire life, isn't it?
Yes. And when you said the word understanding, I think that's a good example of how the word empathy gets confused with understanding.
Yeah.
Because people, well, I'm sure they think they understand where the other person's coming from training and things like that. But the truth of the matter is that's not empathy. Like you said, it's just not.
So if I'm serving someone, I go through the Virtual Dementia Tour, I'm taking the points that I've learned there, I'm slowing down, I am listening in totality with my eyes and my ears and all my senses. And then I take the time to learn about their history and try to apply some of those things. Am I getting at where we're headed with this?
Yes, you definitely are. I think the next step in that is the realization, and I have a point-by-point list of what's the difference in an empathic person-centered caregiver and a regular caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
You can go through the Virtual Dementia Tour and come out very changed, but if you don't really work on where that person's coming from your own perspective now,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to make that leap to empathic care. So basically, that empathic caregiver is someone that realizes at the outset that the day of caregiving is not your day, it's their day. That's the first thing. You need to realize that while you do need to have do rounds and you need to do bathing care, etc. And as family caregivers, you have things that you need to get done. But until you shift your focus from you to the person that you're caring for, it's not empathy. It's still about you. So that gets us to a deeper level, and that is the realization. An empathic person-centered caregiver has to have the realization that they are not in the seat of power. Now, the seat of power shifts to the person living with dementia or any kind of caregiving role. And that's a deep conversation to have with yourself. You know, you need to say, self, how's my day going along? And am I ruling this person from my seat of power, or am I giving power back to that person? There's an example that I have used over the years, and those of you who know me know this example. But think about it from this perspective. You go into a person's room. Now you're about to help them change clothes, right? So again, whether you're a home caregiver or anyone else, so you're about to change clothes. So now in your world of living, you pick out your own clothes, right? So if we're going to view the world from their perspective, I think it's important, no matter the level of functioning, that we offer choices. I have 2 shirts here. Which one do you want to wear? This one or this one? If they don't give you an answer, that's okay. You've given them a choice. You've opened their world to be inclusive with you rather than exclusive. So many times, and no, it's not going to take more time because you're just offering a choice. And if they pick one that you don't care for, then why the heck did you give them that choice in the first place? So again, that sounds little, but it's huge, because when a person at any level realizes that they're a part of the care, their level of confusion lifts a bit. And if this is done on a consistent level, we begin to see a different resident or family member. So it runs pretty deep.
Absolutely. It's fascinating. And what I'm hearing you say is that it's a real focus on stepping outside yourself and facilitating what the other person needs so that they're the focus of everything you're doing.
Exactly. And if the day isn't going well, you know what? The day's not going well. So don't force them. Don't try to change their life to fit your schedule and what you're doing. So often I see the unfortunate circumstance where a caregiver is, again, they're in the seat of power in their head, is trying to force a person who is not feeling well that day, doesn't want to do something that they want them to do, and they force it. Now, I think we need to examine along those lines, is it that important to get them out of pajamas and into street clothes every day if they're having a bad day? No, it absolutely is not. Is it important that we do oral care on a day that they're spitting or having a tough day? No, we don't want to do that. It's shifting. It's a paradigm shift in your brain about what is important. And what is important is what that precious, beautiful, life-giving human being is dealing with that day.
Absolutely. So this is something that we can work with family caregivers, community friend caregivers, professional caregivers. Really, we can work with anyone to help this,
Sure.
right?
That's right. And, one of the presentations I do is, can empathy be taught?
Mhm.
And in fact, it really can. Now, you have to have a willing participant or a willing person who's looking to better their lives and the lives of those around them. Because here's the other thing, is once empathy is taught, it can't be untaught. Isn't that interesting? And that would be true, because once you develop this skill, it is something you really can't unlearn. In other words, you can't turn into a really mean person or a person who's in the seat of power. Again, you've now learned this skill. And once you realize the impact of that skill, your life is forever changed. All the way around, for family members, for loved ones, for work. That skill becomes a part of your personality. So I think while we try to learn together about the importance of empathic, person-centered care, it is going to be infused in almost everything that we do, and is currently been infused in almost everything we do at Second Wind Dreams. Our training programs are infused with empathic care. At my blog is infused with empathic centered care. There's a lot of things that you will find. Our family edition is infused with person-centered care at Second Wind Dreams. And after 25 years of working in this arena, I'm learning every day. I'm learning from you. I'm learning from our residents. I'm learning all the time. So I think that constant quest of learning is a part of what we do at Second Wind. So you will find that the Virtual Dementia Tour melds and changes over the years as we learn more research and find better ways of simulating cognitive decline. You will find almost everything that we do is so research-based and infused with empathy that honestly, you will be a part of not only a nascent organization, but you'll also be a part of a group of people who put empathy at the center of what we do.
And that's part of the reason I'm here.
That's right.
It's very important to me as well. Well, this has been a fantastic opportunity to talk with you. It's never long enough, so we will do more. And I want to thank you for being with us today.
Sure. And to your point, Gwyneth, you are amazing. And you have brought us through some awful times with the pandemic, and with your empathic care of employees and empathic care of how we're developing new programs. You have just brought us to the next level. And for that, I want everyone to know how truly thankful I am.
Thank you very much.
You're
This
very
has
welcome.
been a pleasure and an honor, and I'd like to thank everyone who's tuned in today. This is recorded, so it'll be available to those who weren't able to join us if you'd like to share. Please check out our website, www.secondwind.org. It is our 25th anniversary. We will have opportunities to engage with us throughout the year, and we look forward to talking with you soon. Thank you.